Hi guys, hi everyone who is following me and everyone who may see this video. A few days ago, I have seen a lot of videos going on the social media to make joke on Mauritania after the embarrassing speech that the Mauritanian president gave during his invitation to the Oval Office. So I know there are a lot of people who don't know anything about this country, and maybe there are a lot of people also who are interested in knowing what's really going on in the country. So this report is only about the true realities that I have experienced as a citizen of Mauritania. So let's read this report. I am writing to express my profound anger and disappointment regarding the embarrassment that you, the so-called Mauritanian President, General Ghazouani, brought upon the country and the entire African continent during your appearance in the Oval Office on July the 9th, 2025. How can a person with over 30 years of experience and a background in high-ranking government position deliver such disgraceful speech in front of the world? It is truly shameful. You are simply unqualified for this role, and you have boldly unveiled the world to the rampant corruption, nepotism, favoritism, and absence of true meritocracy in Mauritania. General Ghazouani, you are a self-proclaimed president. You were not elected by the people, and I'm certain you are aware of this. During the last two electoral farces, you shamelessly manipulated the result after suffering significant defeat at the hand of Honorable Bramda Abeid, a dedicated human rights activist. Following each election, your regime, rooted in racism and apartheid, deployed brutal and unpatriotic police, military, and the National Guard to violently suppress protesters who peacefully demanded their stolen vote. Among the victims were children as young as 12 and 14 years old. At this solemn moment, I humbly honor the memory of our fallen heroes, Suvi Ulshain, Umar Diop, Abbas Jallo, Mohammed Ulsamba, and many others who were silenced by bullet or perished in the grim of confines of this regime's concentration camps. This sacrifice stands as haunting testament to the price of our struggle. General Ghazouani, you are not only incompetent and informed, but you are also a war criminal. From 1987 to 1991, during the oppressive regime of Colonel Ultaya, the brutal and the genocidal dictator, you served as aide-de-camp, participating in the ethnic cleansing and mass deportation of indigenous communities, particularly the Fulani and the Olof people. On November 28, 1991, the same regime of terror committed one of the most horrific acts in human history by massacring 28 black soldiers in a perverse commemoration of the so-called Independence Day. What meant to be a day of celebration and pride instead became a day of profound sorrow and grief. I personally view this atrocity as a form of cannibalism. You blatantly lied by claiming that Mauritania is a small country, when in reality this country ranked as the 11th largest in Africa and the 29th largest in the world. It seems that General Ghazouani may not be aware of this fact. Additionally, Your assertion that the country's population is around 5 million is misleading, as approximately 25% of the population is undocumented due to ongoing discrimination and issues related to illiteracy. Therefore, I say congratulations to the US President for promptly cutting through your ramblings. Since gaining independence, Mauritania has endured a harsh apartheid regime that segregates and enslaves its people while plundering the country's abundant natural resources to the detriment of the working class. What was supposed to be a blessing for all Mauritanians has instead become a curse. This mismanagement has left nearly 80% of the population living in extreme poverty. Under your leadership, the country has experienced an unprecedented mass exodus of young Mauritanians worldwide, fleeing persecution on various protected ground and unbearable poverty. Your hypocritical regime of terror has manipulated innocent Mauritanians into unwittingly supporting international terrorist organizations. This is evident from the series of protests opposing Israel's legitimate right to defend itself following the deadliest attack on the resilient people of Israel since the Holocaust. What pains me the most is that even our National Assembly, has become a fervent advocate for Hamas, while remaining completely blind and deaf to our country's interest and to the thousands of Mauritanians who were massacred or deported between 1989 and 1991. My question to all Mauritanians: is a Gazawi's life more important than that of a black Mauritanian? Every Mauritanian who stands with Gaza is simply hypocritical. Thanks to your incompetence and indifference, Islamist extremist groups like Tawassul have surged to the alarming level, radicalizing and recruiting Mauritanians youth to join terrorist organizations that aim to sow chaos and destabilize the entire region. If left unchecked, Mauritania could soon become a battleground for these Islamist extremist forces. Burkina Faso and Benin should be a great example to this. Unveiling a hidden reality about Mauritania, a 20-year-old Mauritanian terrorist ruthlessly attacked an ordinary Jewish man on his way to synagogue in Chicago last year. This hateful act of terror, driven by deep-seated anti-Semitism, aimed to tarnish the reputation of hard-working, peaceful, and law-abiding Mauritanian immigrants. Meanwhile, the regime's hypocritical political stance has fueled a surge of intense Arab nationalism, banning French, English, and other global languages from most schools to alienate non-Arabic speakers and isolate oppressed from the wider world. Yet, in a bitter irony, the ruling elite continue to send their children to prestigious international schools where French and English dominate, securing high-quality education while the mass are left behind. The United States celebrated and famous for its steadfast dedication to justice and its influential role on the world stage, must steer clear for any alliance with the apartheid regime in Mauritania. Instead, both the US and the global community should unite to impose the harshest sanction and isolate this regime responsible for heinous acts. As the beacon of freedom, America has long championed the cause of oppressed people, standing tall against tyrannical rulers and fighting for liberation across the globe. Therefore, we urgently call upon the United States and the international community to swiftly end the impunity that this oppressive regime has enjoyed for decades. We say enough is enough. This blank check must end. The Oval Office, a prestigious, just, and honorable place, should never be defiled by General Ghazouani's blood-stained hands and feet. We respectfully and fervently demand our share of international justice. While we recognize the sovereignty of all countries, Mauritania is not a sovereign state, but rather a terrorist organization disguised as a state. To His Excellency, President Donald J. Trump, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations on your recent nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize by your esteemed allies and friends, the State of Israel. Additionally, I commend your dedication to making America great again and your unwavering effort to promote peace worldwide. Your Excellency, under your leadership, diligence, and keen vision, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has renewed hope for peace and stability after a decade of turmoil. On behalf of the oppressed people of my country, I urge you and your administration to pay close attention to our struggles. Moreover, I want to convey to the state of Israel and the Jewish people in general that the voiceless and oppressed people in my country stand wholeheartedly with your struggle for survival. As we are connected through history, therefore we truly understand what you are fighting for. Ultimately, I want to make it clear that I do not intend to denigrate my country in any way. I'm simply revealing the hidden and the dark realities of my nation. I also formally declare to the terrorist, fascist, and Nazi regime that a new generational struggle has begun. A determined generation that will not be intimidated, bullied, or defeated. Long live the Israeli-American relation in the fight to liberate the world from fascism. Long live democratic and secular Mauritania. Tomorrow bring a new world and a new page of history. Thank you, all of you.